Hello, everyone. Welcome again to the Healing Hub podcast. Today, I have a very, very special guest with me, my very good friend and my partner in business, Monica Kubik. And today, we're going to be talking about one of my most favorite topics, horses and healing with horses. Hi, Monica. How are you?
Good. Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. You know, Monica and I, we can sit for hours and just talk about horses and about our dream therapist table and about like how come the world doesn't know yet the amazing powers of healing with horses. So I thought today we need to do this episode to really help people understand better what we do, right?
Yeah.
So but let's start by introducing yourself. Who are you? And yeah.
Yes.
What are you doing?
So my name is Monica. I'm German, but I was born and raised as an expat and born in Argentina. And there's photos from me from a very early age
With horses.
sitting on horses. Horses were always a deep passion for me. And I was lucky to have my own horses. I spent a lot of time with horses, around horses. But I could never really see myself working in the field at the time. So I went off and studied something totally different. Ended up coming to Dubai, where I never wanted to have my own horses, so that even brought me further away from my dream. But then a couple of years ago, I stumbled across what we're going to talk about today, and I immediately knew I need to know more about this. This is something that really speaks to my heart and that I want to know more about. And so I started off on the journey.
Yeah. So Monica and I are both certified in horse-guided empowerment, which you will learn a little bit more about today. It's a type of, is a methodology in which we help people heal with horses. And she's also certified in HorseDream. And well, she's been, again, on and about with horses all her life. But before we get into that, I wanted to let everybody know a little bit about So for you to understand, like, since when humanity has been working with horses to help people heal. So there are data that says that in ancient Greek, so we're talking here about before Christ, the first millennia before Christ, they were already using horses to help people heal for illnesses that they didn't have any cure at that time. And from this time as well, Hippocrates, which is a very big figure of medicine, also was discussing about the benefits of horse riding for people that had body limitations at that time. Then in the 17th century is when they started founding literature about written literature about the benefits again of helping people heal from neurological disorders, gut, and as well low morale. But it wasn't really until 1950s, more or less, when in Scandinavia, with an outbreak of a big flu, that back in the days of flu had as well bad consequences, of course, due to the healthcare system that we had back in the time. People was getting paralyzed, and then they started using the term equine-assisted therapy to help people help them to really become less stiff in their body, because they saw that there were benefits of putting a person on top of the horse, and then with the gait of the horse, the person was slowing down and relaxing, and so the body as well did. After this, let's say sometime in around 1960s, there was a big trend in around Germany, Austria, Switzerland, of people that probably they were living in the countryside and they had horses, that they started actually implementing this equine-assisted therapy, all of them probably developing their own method, developing their own understanding of horses and their own understanding of how they wanted to help humanity. So there was a big trend in that area of the world, but then Americans, Canadians went back to Germany in around 1980s and actually studied everything what they knew. And that they went back, and in the late 90s is when they formed the Association of Hippotherapy in America. So it goes a long way, and there's been so many other things. I mean, we discussed many times that horses have been with humans, not only in the therapy spectrum or healing spectrum, but also have been with us as partners, right? So maybe you can tell us a bit more of how they were with us from as well ancient times.
Yes, I mean, it's one of the few prey animals that has formed a very close connection with humanity, helping us to conquer lands, to conquer continents, to, yeah, travel much further than we thought possible, and helped us plow the lands and so much. And yeah, when I started, also I studied a lot about leadership training with horses, and there's also a lot of traits that we learned from the interaction with horses. If you think of kings and leaders in the old medieval days, they all spent a lot of time in the stables from a very young age, slowly being raised alongside the horses and developing their personalities, these leadership traits that you need to lead a country later.
I think there was this say that if a soldier in the making didn't manage to make the horse follow him without any force, then it was not worth it to go to war or something like that. I remember there was something about that. So that says a lot about the bond that a person can really do with a horse.
Yeah.
Well, for all of you that have horses, of course you understand, but for all of you that you don't have, you can think of as well the amazing bond you can have with a dog as well or a cat. But for me it's another level of maybe because the horse is a bigger animal, it's more majestuous, I don't know, but they have a massive way of connecting with us, which is what we use actually to tap into helping people heal. But we can see that it was only in the late 90s when this became something that actually was popular, and it became actually something in the States, and then in Europe it was a bit later, I believe, with developing again methods that were not as strict as what we know now as hippotherapy or equine-assisted therapy, but other methods that didn't require a proper doctor to be involved in the sessions. And this is something that I want to make clear. So we have equine-assisted therapy, which would have therapeutic riding, has hippotherapy, and then it has equine psychotherapy as well. Within these modalities, this developed into different diplomas, different certifications you can get in PATH, EGALA, all of them a bit similar but focusing on different things. And then there is this other area of development that are these methods that doesn't necessarily use doctors, or they are not therapists per se, but they use the amazing power of horses and this knowledge that we have to help people heal physically and mentally as well.
Correct, exactly.
So,
and this is what we specialize in.
Exactly. That's what we specialize on, of course. So again, horses started more into the physical part, even though they knew that people around horses always felt more calm. But then, even though on the, let's say, the part with the certifications, EAGALA is more focused on the mental health. And then in our side, we have horse-guided empowerment, we have HorseDream, which you studied, and many other methods. So can you tell us a bit more about, since you are certified in two methods that focus more on this part, like what is it?
Yeah, so HorseDream was founded in 1996 by Gerhard Krebs in Germany. So we're coming back to that. And it was the first one I stumbled upon when I went on my journey of learning about how horses can help humans. HorseDream focuses on the leadership side, so management training for corporates who want to work on their self-confidence, assertiveness, but also a lot on authenticity. And he has certified over 300 people worldwide. It's a method that's applied in all different countries because the horses don't care about nationalities, about your background, about how you look and what's your job title. And that's the beauty of it, that it works all over the world and has spread quite wide now and is really, really popular in big companies that want to include that in their leadership and development training. So that's how I started. And then later, came to some limitations when I came to a farm where the horses were living pretty half wild, not very tamed. And I struggled a bit with that. So I went on to look for other certifications, and that's how I found Horse-Guided Empowerment, which was founded by Christina Marz back in Ecuador. She's also German. She's a psychologist, and she works in a very natural way with the horses. So there, the horses are really an integral part of the session. And that's, like you said earlier, we tap into that knowledge and that intuitive power of the horses and use that in our sessions. So we let them do a lot of the
Yeah.
work.
So one important thing for everybody to understand as well is that, for example, hippotherapy, which by the way means therapy with horses, hippo from the ancient Greek as well. This type of modalities, normally they work with doctors, with different type of doctors, specializations, and they put the patient, the client, on top of the horse. Not on all the sessions, but it's something that happens. And then there is a lot of control on the horse, right? So you would see, like if you need to picture an image, you would see a kid on top of the horse, you would see the doctor next to the kid, and then you would see somebody leading the horse, and even sometimes more people. So this is from the traditional, well, not traditional really, but from the scuola, no? From the school of hippotherapy and equine-assisted therapy, whereas Mars method, horse-guided empowerment, and HorseDream works with horses mainly from the ground in freedom. So it's a very different picture. If you see it, you can really see the difference, right? We work with horses, allowing them to be free and to be part of the session if they want to or not, because this is very important for us. We will talk about it in a minute. And we don't tie them. We don't put this force. We really treat them as partners rather than tools. So I think I just wanted to make this quite clear, because it's amazing how the more you leave a horse to be free to choose, the more he chooses to interact with you, right?
Exactly, yes. And that's the beauty of the sessions, and that's what made it really beautiful for me. For example, me being a horse person that didn't want to work in that traditional sense with horses, that was the point where I said, now I can see myself working with horses because we treat them with respect.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I think, again, where all this part of people that develop these methods based on more freedom, I think they were also people that they loved liberty, horsemanship, people that were not friendly of big bites and forcing horses from a very early ages, something that we see actually everywhere in all the world. So again, I would say, like, whoever is more on this part, not saying that the rest of the people doesn't do, but it's very mindful towards how we use horses as well, because normally we don't require them for riding or for them to have any heaviness in their body. We can as well use horses that are not fit enough to ride, for example. So we really give meaningful life to retired horses, horses that have minor injuries, or big injuries, but then they need to heal because they heal with us along the way as well. So it's really something beautiful, right? It works in parallelly for different purposes.
Yes, it's a very sustainable work.
In terms of Mars method, founded in 2008 by Christina Mars, she's also German, but living in Ecuador at the moment in her happy dream house surrounded by horses. Let's talk a little bit more about this, and how is this going in the UAE? Because Monica and I are quite busy actually with this here.
Yes, exactly. So bringing it back to the United Arab Emirates, when I first got in touch with Christina and wanted to know more about how she works with the horses and her method, she immediately suggested that she wants to come to Dubai and meet us and meet the horses here and travel the world. And so she came actually in January 2020 and ran the first certification group where I was part of, and we had other people also that joined the course and became certified and learned from her, which was shortly before the Corona pandemic. And by the time she traveled back, Corona started, all the lockdowns, everything that we remember.
Yeah.
So it was a moment of doubt. How do we continue? What's the future of this work? Because, I mean, especially in my case, for example, I remember I struggled a lot because I couldn't bring people out to the horses anymore. And I had to think about how to continue. But then what Christina did is she brought the course online, and since then actually certifies people online. And we had quite a few batches running since then, and a lot of people from the UAE signing up, becoming interested, wanting to explore and know more about how horses can help
But
people.
what was that actually took your attention when she came here, or why? I mean, I understood you say that with HorseDream you felt that you were missing perhaps this more individual part of it, right? Because it was very focused on leadership. What was that you saw on?
The freedom of the horses, the full freedom of the horses, that they don't even need to be, you don't need to touch the horses. If they don't want to have a halter on, that's totally fine as well. And that you work with the entire herd and not just with one or two horses, but with the herd dynamics. Suddenly all of them move to this side, or they move to that side, or just one comes to you, or one horse refuses to be with you. What does that mean for the client? And really using that free choice of the horses to give meaning to the sessions. And what we do in the sessions now is we let clients interpret for themselves whatever's happening. We just point it out as facilitators. We notice shifts in the herd and in the movements of the horses. But it has a different meaning for each client because we're all different.
So if we try to simplify what horse-guided empowerment is, this is something that at the beginning when we study, it's struggling. It's like, what it is? How do we explain it? But I'm gonna make a try. Then you can add as well. So again, horse-guided empowerment is a method in which we use horses to help people heal. We work from the ground, so no prior riding is needed, and we will be always working at the same level of horses in a very humble way where we are part of the herd. And it's in this moment as well, being very present, because horses are very present creatures, that we allow ourselves to relax, to calm down, to allow our heartbeat to slow down. And in this present moment is where we can actually slowly tackle into our inner emotions and who we truly are. And this is where horses take a big role in the session, because Monica and I or other facilitators will take clients in through a quest or in through a journey where we will be helping people find the answers to the questions that they are looking for. So again, a session would be, for example, somebody comes with a specific condition or a specific subject that they want to work on, let's say anger or grief or stress management. Then we work in this specific topic. Sometimes clients come to us and they're like, I don't know what I want, but I just feel drawn that I need to distress, I need to relax. So this is also okay. You can come to the session, we get into the session, and then the session has a way to bring up what is actually important for you to work on this day. But physically, how a session looks, a client would come, will meet us, we will sign a disclaimer, of course, because even though horses are very safe, we still are working with animals, so we need to be careful with it. We'll get into the paddock, we'll do a small grounding exercise, just again to land, to make you calm. And then after that, we're going to allow clients to meet the horses. And from there, we'll take you into this journey of self-discovery towards what is it that you want to work on. But maybe you can now describe as well how horses are going to give me my answers, how this happens.
Exactly. So there is no magic behind it. Horses intuitively connect to our body language, to our emotions, and to our intentions. It's something they naturally do because that's their natural way of communicating. It's just something that we're not so used to anymore. So what we do in the sessions, we bring you back to what really matters to you. What do you really feel? Not just what you're pretending and what you're telling yourself that's important. So we bring you back to that raw, who am I really and what do I really want and feel?
Yeah.
And because that's, again, something that horses naturally do. So they feel if you're nervous, they feel if you're doubting, they feel if you are sure of what you want, and they will show that and react to that. And by seeking that connection from the ground, we start to speak their language and they start to react to whatever you bring up as a client. If you're walking with the horse, for example, and asking the horse to follow you, but you're doubting and you're not quite sure, can I actually do this? The horse will feel that and will stop. The moment you can shift your thoughts, and you don't even have to say it, it's enough if it's in your mind.
Yeah.
Because if you think, I'm doubting, your body language will automatically change. If you say, I can do this, there's this slight shift, and the horses feel it, and they will do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I like to say as well in the sessions or in general is like, so when you imagine a herd of horses like cantering, galloping in a big plain, and then suddenly they all turn to the left or turn to the right. Again, I always make this joke, like there is no leader saying like, let's turn to the left. No, there is this shift of energy where they know where they're going. There is this small minor body language, and boo, 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 there is a chain of understanding, and they all turn at the same time. So horses tap again to this inner truth, what Monica mentioned about. It's not like what you believe you want to do and what you are doing, right? I like to describe this as well as the 3 steps of the brain of like, I know that, for example, let's say somebody's in a job and she knows that she hates this job, and she doesn't want to be there like every day in the morning. She wakes up and she's angry and she's depressed because she has to go to work. But the brain number 2 is saying, it's conditioning, but if you leave your job, then you will not have enough money. But then if you leave your job, your family will think about that. But if you leave your job, then your career will be destroyed. If all these doubts. And then the third brain is the one who gives actually the direction to our body to stay in the job. So this person is not living by her truth. I say her as a woman in that case. But we tap into that, right? So maybe somebody comes to us, it's like, I'm stuck in life. And she doesn't even know that maybe this is the issue. She because you've been living for so many years, not truth to who you are and how you feel. So we help people to remove these 2 steps of, okay, I was going to say a bad word, but these 2 things that are not important. We just talk to your truth, and that's where we take you. And horses do not talk brain 2, brain 3. They only talk number 1. So they will never judge you. They will never understand. If you try to lie to a horse, they are not going to understand anything. They just know exactly what you are trying to do. And then they will react versus to that. So we, with our methodology, we are as well, of course, trained to see how we can guide you through this interaction with horses to bring out these situations inside the paddock where you will be connecting it with your daily life, where you will be connecting these situations with what's happening actually in your current life, maybe at work, maybe with your relationship, maybe with yourself. Self-esteem is something we see many times, with anger, with fears. Like, again, it is just peeling this layer of emotional baggage that we carry to actually arrive to the raw of who you truly are, right?
Yeah. And you just mentioned something very interesting. We're trying to replicate or to bring out that scene in the paddock. And that's a very important factor of our work. It's experiential. So you're actually doing it
Exactly.
with your whole body.
And that's why it stays in the memory of clients, because you are experiencing it with all your senses. You are seeing these beautiful creatures. Maybe it's the first time you've been with them and you're actually surrounded by 3 or 4 horses. You get the opportunity to touch them, to interact with them. You remove all these fears and stigmas that horses are dangerous and angry, and you connect with them. They are the real unicorns of this world, They say, oh, unicorns. No, they are the real unicorns, and they're actually here in this world to help us. So it's really incredible. I think maybe, what help people understand better what we do is to give some examples. So, Monica has been working a bit lately with some cancer patients. So maybe you can tell us a little bit of these sessions or other sessions that you would like.
Yeah, I can very simply start with a session, for example, I had this morning in the paddock. Coming back to the cancer support group that I run together with a cancer coach, a lot of the topics that come up there is anxiety, insecurity, what you just mentioned. You never know, but that's true for everybody, right? You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Life can change in the blink of an eye. So deep down, we always live with a bit of insecurity. It's just how we deal with it. How do we deal day to day with all these fears and anxieties? And the session I had this morning was exactly about the topic, about dealing with anxieties that are often mostly in our mind. They're not real.
Anxiety is all about being afraid of the future.
Yes.
Like you're just worried about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Didn't happen yet.
Yeah. And no, the session was beautiful. We were walking around. The horses were so relaxed, so calm. One lying down here, one rolling there. Everybody was really enjoying the good weather, the good time. There was no reason to be anxious. And I asked the client to then put up a little obstacle course with all the challenges and fears that she actually feels that she has to overcome in her life, and build a little path of the obstacles that she's facing in life, and then take a horse that she connected to and walk together with the horse through the obstacle course. And we as a facilitator, we never really know what's going to happen when we do these kind of things. We see everything. Sometimes if the client is doubtful, the horse will stop and not move, or they can't even get started. A lot of people, like you said earlier, have problems to just take that initial step and get started. Sometimes they get stuck somewhere in between when there's an obstacle that they perceive in their mind as especially big. For the horse, it doesn't matter what's on the floor or what's on the ground. They again just connect to that person, to whatever that person is feeling or thinking, and react to that by either following or not following. And today morning, for example, the horse followed so smoothly, so easily. It was beautiful to watch. It was almost too easy. But it was exactly what she needed. She just needed that push of confidence, that little nudge.
I can do it.
I can do it. Exactly. That feeling and walking it and doing it with the horse and leaving with that feeling of, I can do this if I just believe in myself enough. I just trust. And the first time she came to one of my sessions, she was actually super scared of horses. Like, she hadn't been around horses at all. They were big. They were scary. She hardly was able to touch them. And then also, she said after the session today, I never thought I would be able to do this. And then it also was so easy. It felt so good. And I know that she can take that feeling back, and now she can replicate it in whatever she needs to do in her life, because she already felt it once and she knows she can do it. So now it's just doing it.
I often say, like, when people say, like, I'm afraid of horses, and I'm like, okay, we have two things here. One, you had an accident with a horse, and I understand you have a trauma we can work on. Or two, you actually have more fears in your life. And often it's number two. So it's very interesting. Like, I did have as well a lot of clients that like, I'm afraid of horses. And at the end of the session, they're just running with them, hugging them, and you are like, you are afraid? So, it really takes not much to overcome our blockages. And again, the sessions we work, they last for about an hour. So we are talking here about 1 hour of your life that can be extremely impactful when it comes to that. I mean, here I remember Christina, who we mentioned, Christina, the founder of HorseGuide Empowerment. She's a psychologist, and she says, like, I have seen some of my clients overcoming or breaking through more in one session with the horses than years of therapy, right? So this says a lot, and that's why as well we have been approached sometimes by different psychologists to be as a support of the therapy that they do. And this is something I wanted to talk today. But before that, discussing about how we see as well our method developing in the UAE. It's important to say that we love all the work as well that is being done in the UAE. There are a couple of establishments like the Equestrian Association of People for Determination in Melilla Desert Palm, a wonderful place where they use more the equine-assisted therapy to work with kids of determination. They've been here for over 15 years, and still many people don't know about it. Then we have Al Marmoon initiative in Al Qudra area, fantastic area as well. They have their own garden, and they have a beautiful vibe as well. So there are slowly things, and recently we have heard of this big project in Abu Dhabi, right?
Exactly, where they want to cooperate with the Equestrian Federation in the UAE to also establish more mental
hippotherapy and
more hippotherapy, and use the horses for the mental health benefit of the humans. Because in the UAE there's big drive towards a happier country. Yes, because the leaders here, they recognize, I think, that when you're happier in your life, you can be more productive and you just contribute so much more to the country. And of course, also people who are happier get less sick. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely. So our aim here is as well to keep growing. So as I say, I've been in this world for over 3 years here in the UAE. Monica has been working with horses for how long here?
In this setting now for 7 years.
For 7 years. And our aim, as we are doing, is just walking again hands in hand with all these developments, with all these places. We have big plans. We would love to work with again all these groups in need, right? Like we're talking here about not only cancer patients but terminal illnesses that are not cancer, autoimmune disease, soldiers that have been in war for PTSD, victims of any sort of traumatic experiences that you may think of, mental illness, everything that you can think of, we can be a support to that, and that's where we want to be. So I don't know, do you think we are missing anything so that people can understand better what we do?
Yeah, so maybe to summarize what we said earlier, it's a complementary and very experiential way of helping people with all sorts of traumas, of mental blockages really that people have. There is a lot of talk lately about mind, body, soul and uniting that. We just do that naturally with the horses in the paddock. But in a very grounding, very, a way that you can feel and touch. And and it's open for anybody really, because you don't have to ride horses. You don't even need to have any experience with horses. So everybody can benefit from it, all age groups, all nationalities.
In fact, a couple of months ago, we had a group of what was the elderly with
the senior people, yes,
the
with
senior
Alzheimer's.
people with Alzheimer, and they came as well there. We did a session with them. It was wonderful, and we had people in wheelchairs with 90 plus years that they couldn't really move because they were very old, and only seeing them, like I don't know, it was just really magical, like seeing this very old woman, 90 plus years, she couldn't move, you can see she's very fragile, like a little bird, and then putting this horse, in that case was Fabiana, next to her, this beautiful mare, chestnut mare that we have. And then at the end, she was just saying, like, I want to take her home. I want to take care of her. I love the horse. I love her. I love her. And then at the end, she made just the effort to put the hand and pet the horse, This says a lot, because when she came at the beginning, her body was very rigid, was like that in the wheelchair. And by the time she touched the horse, you could see that the body relaxed. And it really helps the whole nervous system, to really calm down. So again, we're talking here about mental health. This is what we work the most. But we see, I am a true believer that every emotion has a reflection in the physical body, because I experience it myself. I experience it myself all the time. So I can see as well in the sessions, people coming to sessions maybe like this, or walking with the horse like this, and you can see they have pain, and by the end, they're walking more open, more relaxed. So again, it's all connected, and I think what we do as well is it works very well to prevent breakdowns, to prevent somebody,
Yes, because it's a very grounded and physical way of working, and so a lot of the clients that come to us report feeling much better afterwards at the end of 1 hour, like you said, and because it's a feeling that stays for quite some time, you don't have to do the therapy every day. You can just come every once in a while and just help you get that boost of happiness, of self-confidence, of shift of mind. Whenever you go back to your old ways of thinking, you come back again and, get that different thinking mode, and that will help you really in so many places in your life.
Mm-hmm. And then at the same time, as we develop all our system, our growth in the region, let's say, our aim is as well to help horses in the region, to give meaningful life to all the horses after race or after riding, for like endurance, for jumping, like anything. We have here all the modalities in the world, I think, almost,
yes,
with horses. So we have really, really a lot of horses, and we should really use them. They love being part of it, and they really healed with us. We have recently worked with a couple of polo ponies in this last season that they were just recently coming from polo. So again, polo is very strict with them, even though they just are on the ground for like a small, I think it's 15 minutes, very stressful 15 minutes, but like every week or every now and then. But there are horses that are being ridden from a very early age that they can have injuries easily because they are very young and being used quite strongly. But they're still beautiful horses that they come to us quite young and fresh. But at the same time, they come with their own mind conditioning of being used as a tool for polo. So when they come for therapy or for equine-assisted therapy or to work with our method, we give them a different way of living. It takes some time for them to adapt and to understand what we do. But when they get it, oh my God, they love it. They love it. They absolutely love it. And you can see their releases in their body, in their behavior, right, in everything. So it's really wonderful, and it makes me extremely happy. And I know also you, because that's why you're in this world. You wanted to make the world a better place for horses, right? And that's how I also came into the horse guided empowerment world. My aim was actually not to help humans. I was trying to help myself. How I can help horses heal. I was doing energy healing for horses, and I saw that there was a big impact on it. And then I wanted to know more about them, and I came across this method. And now I'm doing both, because actually with our sessions we are helping horses all the time.
Yes, exactly.
So I think that's. I know that this is our vision, to have a place where we can help horses that are no longer wanted, unfortunately, and with them we can help them heal and help people heal in the UAE and overseas.
Yes.
Because again, we do retreats as well overseas. We'll talk about that in another moment. Yeah. But the work we can do with them is just incredible. And if we look at the United States, Canada, Europe, equine-assisted therapy is actually covered by insurance.
Yes.
For example, in Europe. And in the States as well, they also do the co-payment with insurances. So I really hope that we reach this point in the UAE sometime soon.
Yeah, exactly, where it's more accepted, more acknowledged. Already there's a lot of people knowing about it and hearing about it and asking for it. And I think the next step would be to make it more official, make it more recognized, and help more people, not just the people that accidentally find us, but people who really, really need it.
Yeah. And again, using these groups that actually really need support, right? In mental health. And again, I would love as well to see the work of the hippotherapist developing more. There is like waiting lists in the EAPD and Al Marmon of years of kids with disabilities that live in the UAE, that they want to do this and they can't, because there is not enough therapists, there is not enough centers that offer this.
Yes,
so
exactly. And another topic is also the money. A lot of the people who really need it cannot afford expensive coaching or therapy.
Or sometimes they can, but imagine these parents, they have a kid with autism and they want to bring him to painting, to hippotherapy, to everything. It's a lot of money.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. So the money limitations as well.
Yeah.
So yes, this is a little bit of what we do and how horses have been with humans for over millennia. We want them to continue being with us. Actually, Monica lent me a beautiful book that is called
The Horses Know.
The Horses Know. And since I have read this book, my mind is blown, because it's a world in the future in which actually horses are these magical creatures that help us again to connect who we are, and they help us to really help people heal in a very, very meaningful and deep level. So let's not let the world explode before this happens, as it happens in the book, kind of. But let's really make the most of these amazing animals that you mentioned once in one session, right? Like how it's probably the biggest prey animal that is a friend of a human. Right? And they willingly walk with you, they be with you, they would lay down with you. I mean, the only issue is that they are so big you cannot have them inside the house, but they could be like a little dog, like a little cat that could sit with you while you watch TV. Really, you know, when you get into the horse world, you can just spend hours with them. But long story short, yeah,
I think we're excited for the future. We're excited to bring more people together with the horses. We're excited to see a lot more people getting certified
Yes.
and learning about our
Yes.
work. And no, there's a lot more coming.
Absolutely. So I promise I'll bring Monica back because we're going to talk a little bit more about horse-guided empowerment and the retreats that we have. Another amazing topic is the leadership courses we do, and that she's specialized as well, where we work with big companies to do team building activities. That's another incredible topic, but it's more corporate, so we'll talk about it another day. But again, Monica, where can people find you?
So we have our common website, which is healwithhorses.com, which is where you can find out all about our work, see the facilitators who we have in the country already and book sessions with them. Or you can go to our individual websites. Mine is feelquest.com. And just book your session anytime you want.
And experience it, right?
Yes.
As well, in Instagram, it's PhilQuest, but I will leave all the details in the description of the episode so you can find her anytime. But again, Monica and I talk every day, so if you don't find her, just let me know and I'll send you her number. And again, thank you so much for everything you have done. It's been amazing working with you for all this time, and I can't wait for what's coming.
Yes, thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.